Cycles are an interesting term in relation to energy setups because energy is always operating in a cycle, in a sense that it's always sort of transferring into a next state or phase. My name is Vibeke Massini. I'm an artist mostly based in Amsterdam. For this exhibition taking place in Gogh House, I'm responding to a really rich history that London has to electric infrastructure. So I'm looking into the history of that really early electric infrastructure and simultaneously the contemporary electric demand of our increasingly energy-hungry societies. The way that I entered that question or that curiosity within the house was by laying bare different parts of the electric infrastructure within the house and the infrastructure as it reaches the house. So in most modern and contemporary buildings, these would exactly be the infrastructures and the systems that are beautifully hidden away. And actually what I'm doing is a bit countering that by just kind of digging and trying to find and then put attention to that system that is so neatly hidden from sight.
I was interested in creating a sort of responsive system where instead of an autonomous object, you'd have something that would react or be dependent on the outside environment. My name is Clara Hastrup and I'm an artist. I'm from Denmark and I've been living and working here in London for the past 7 years. So for this exhibition, I've made 2 site-specific works that are both related to the wind. And I was interested in finding a way of using the weather as a medium, this unstable or chaotic force that is constantly changing. And I wanted to find a way of translating that into a function that was somehow dialogue with these domestic objects inside the house. So there are 2 sensors attached to the chimney of the house at about 15-20 meters above the ground. And there's an anemometer, which is measuring the speed of the wind, and there's a wind direction sensor measuring the horizontal directions the wind is coming from. And both of these analog signals are then feeding live into the house via cables. So at the ground floor of the house, there is a TV with a familiar cartoon playing, and the playback speed of the video is completely determined by the wind. So the wind speed is feeding into the TV, and the signal that is being recorded at the top of the house is then translated and mapped into this function that translates the meters per second into frame per second. So in that sense, you can say that it's playing at the speed of the wind or in wind time. In another room, there is a teacup, which is sometimes spinning in its saucer, and it's supposed to be this illusion of a cup spinning on its own, as if it's animated or coming to life. And under the cup, hidden inside the table, there is this motor, which is synchronized to rotate the cup with the direction of the wind outside. So the cup is sort of constantly aligning itself to these cardinal directions of the wind.
Leather, midnight chic, green forest and bergamot, fresh shave, wild instinct. My name is Ines, and I develop long-term research processes that materialize in sculptural and moving image works. Rock Paper Forests is a picnic blanket that has been carefully woven into a tight grid-like structure, and it has been crafted using the traditional methods used since the 18th century at the Museo de Molí de Capellades, and it reflects upon how landscapes have been linked towards comfort. Dotted around the house are a series of poems that are composed using the scents and the fragrances that are commercialized in fresheners that are used in cars in the shape of pine trees.
And these also invite us to reflect on how landscape is consumed. I think the works that are shown at Van Gogh House engage with this romantic idea of what a cycle is, and they look into the material qualities that compose these cycles, but also how these materials are found commercially in a contemporary setting. I think what's really interesting about Van Gogh House is this understanding that sometimes things need to be porous to the outside, and that's how a museum becomes a living thing.